Do you struggle with letting go? What if the thing that's holding back your growth isn't your team's ability, but your own reluctance to delegate? I'm Chris Moore. This is Lead in 10, where we connect the leadership of Jesus to the challenges you face every day in your business, always under 10 minutes. In Luke chapter 10, Jesus does something bold. He sends out 72 of his disciples in pairs to go into every town and place where he himself was about to go. He gives them instructions, what to take, what to say, what to do, and then he sends them out without him. He doesn't micromanage. He doesn't follow behind them to make sure they do it right. He gives them a clear mission and the authority to act. Imagine the scene. These weren't the apostles. They were everyday followers. No titles, no special recognition, just believers, trusted by Jesus to represent him, preach the kingdom, and heal the sick. Luke 10:1 says, "After these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, sent them two and two before his face into every city and place, whither he himself would come." Jesus shows us that real leadership involves trust and delegation. It's not about doing everything yourself. It's about empowering others to carry the mission forward. Too many leaders get stuck because they think that every decision has to run through them, and they become the bottleneck. But Jesus shows us a different way. Develop people, set clear expectations, and then let them go. Delegation is not dumping on someone. It's not abdicating responsibility. It's empowering others with authority, trust, and accountability. Jesus didn't send the 72 out blind. He equipped them with the message, gave them instructions, and sent them out with purpose. Let's say you're a business owner with a growing team. You've hired people, but you're still reviewing every decision. You're double checking every task they do. You approve every move. Eventually, you burn out and your team feels stuck. No one grows. Now imagine you take a different approach. You sit down with your top performers, share the vision, outline the boundaries, invite them to take ownership. You trust them with real responsibility. One manager takes over customer experience. Another leads the sales strategy. A third one steps up in operations. You check in regularly, but you no longer control every detail. Now the team is moving, growing, multiplying, and so is your capacity. They make mistakes along the way. Of course they are. We do. But they learn, they stretch, and then they become leaders too. One of the most powerful aspects of this story is that Jesus trusted people who weren't perfect. These 72 were not flawless. Some probably didn't get it all right, or maybe even any of it right, but he sent them anyway. Why? Because trust is a choice. Growth is a process, and leadership is about taking the risk, not just with your money, your capital, your assets, but the risk in releasing others, knowing they'll learn as they go. We're often afraid to delegate. We don't want things to get messy, but progress is always messy. Development takes time. Jesus wasn't afraid of the imperfection, and he was certainly aware of it more than we will ever be. He embraced it because he knew what was possible when people were empowered. Jesus modeled this all throughout his ministry. He didn't do it all himself. He constantly sent his disciples to prepare the way, to interact with the crowds, to gather food, to manage logistics. He was equipping them, not just to help them in the moment, but to lead without him when the time came. That's what great leaders do. They don't just build followers, they build other leaders. If you're always the hero, your business will always depend on you. But if you raise up heroes around you, you create something that lasts far beyond your personal bandwidth. Think about your team right now. Who is waiting for you to let go of the reins? Who has shown potential but is still stuck in maintenance mode because you haven't trusted them with anything significant? Take inventory. Where are you holding too tightly to control? What could you release to someone else with clarity, encouragement, and follow-up, but give it to them? Choose one responsibility that you're currently carrying that someone else could lead. Outline the goal. Communicate your expectations. Give them the tools they need, and then let them run with it. Follow up. But when you follow up with coaching, not with control. Ask how it's going. Celebrate progress. Step in if it's needed, but don't step over. When somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you tell me, and ask them, hey, did you talk to Ron? What did Ron say? And if they didn't talk to Ron or Ron told them what to say, don't step over them. Let them lead. Before the next devotional, I want you to delegate one real responsibility to someone on your team. I'm not talking about a task, I'm talking about a responsibility, something they can own, something they can lead, something they can improve. Write down your fears about it, then write down what might happen if it goes well. Pray for the wisdom to release and the courage to lead like Jesus did. In 3 years, 12 disciples, several hundred others. 3 years he invested in a team of people who went on to change the world. You probably have more than 3. Many of you have been leading in your roles for more than 3 years. What effect are you having? If you're not having the effect that you want, maybe because you haven't learned to delegate or delegate in the right way. If today's devotional helped you see the power of delegation, share it with someone, with a leader who needs to hear this. And remember, growth doesn't happen by doing more. It always happened by empowering others to do what they were created to do. Thanks for joining me today on Lead in 10. Until next time, lead boldly, release a little of that control, and watch your impact multiply. I'll see you next time.